guys, I'm Gabby, and I believe that every woman should have access to as much information as possible when it comes to herself and her body. That's why I wanted to share with you guys a little bit of my experience with the birth control implant Nexplanon. Now, keep in mind that just because I had these side effects with Nexplanon, it doesn't mean that your body will go through the same thing. Everybody's bodies are different, and there's really no way to know what your body is going to react like until you actually get the implant. So the main benefit of Nexplanon, and the reason why I decided to get it implanted in the first place, is because it prevents pregnancy for up to 3 years. I was super excited. And unfortunately, it didn't work out that way, and I'll tell you why. So the first main side effect that caught my attention was acne. Now, I've always had acne, and for the last couple years or so, I've been using a combination of 3 different prescription medications, and I've had some great success with that. I had my acne pretty under control using these 3 prescriptions, and I noticed that after I switched to Nexplanon, my acne just came back stronger than ever, and I ended up having acne in places where I had never had before, like my neck and my back and even my hairline. So it was really strange, and at first I didn't realize what was causing it. I started doing more research, and I realized that part of what was helping to prevent my acne with my previous birth control was the fact that it had 2 hormones instead of just 1. Nexplanon only has 1 hormone, which is progestin, and my previous birth control had 2 hormones, estrogen and progestin. And what helps to prevent acne in most birth controls is estrogen. So what happened was, when that was taken away from my body, the acne came back, and no prescription medication that I was using was really helping prevent it. So that's the first thing that caught my attention, and I thought was really odd, and it really was very out of control. The second side effect that I noticed was I ended up gaining a lot of weight in a very short period of time. For me, it's normal to gain weight and lose weight. My weight fluctuates depending on the time of year, and that has always been very normal for me my adult life. Usually through the year, I tend to gain about 10 pounds or so and then lose some weight here and there. What I noticed was that I started gaining a lot of weight without having changed anything about my lifestyle or diet, and that started happening very fast. In about 5.5 months or so, I ended up gaining 20 pounds, which had never happened to me before, and I felt like I just wasn't in control of my body. Now, don't get me wrong, the weight gain itself didn't necessarily bother me. To be honest, I love my body the way it is, and I really still loved my body after I gained the weight. It was more about the fact that I felt like I was out of control. In the past, when my lifestyle or my diet changed a little bit, that would result in some weight gain. If I wanted to work out harder, then I ended up losing some weight. So I always felt like I was in control. And this experience really made me feel like I was not in control of my body. The third, and arguably the most important side effect that I had with Nexplanon was decreased / non-existent sex drive. For me personally, I've always been a very sexual person. I've always been very comfortable with my sexuality. I started realizing what was actually happening, and it felt like the sexual drive part of my brain and my personality was just not there anymore. So it wasn't necessarily that I didn't feel like it or something like that. It was more like I started seeing myself as an asexual being, which is completely, totally different than what my personality normally is like. And to be honest, it took me a long time to realize that that was actually happening to me. So for me, that really affected my life. And when I started realizing that my personality had changed so much, I started researching more about it, and then I came across a lot of reviews from other women who were experiencing the same thing with this birth control. So it really depends on where you are at in your life and what your lifestyle is like. Like I said, it doesn't mean it's gonna happen to you, but if it does, just be aware that it might affect your life in that sense. So those are the main 3 things that I didn't like about Nexplanon and why I decided to have it removed after 6 months. Also, a bonus thing, the Nexplanon is implanted on the inside of your arm, and it's a pretty easy procedure. It's very quick, and I didn't really feel anything when I had it implanted. And there's a very, very small incision when you have to remove it. What happened to me when I had it removed is that unfortunately the incision got infected and it left me with this beautiful little scar on my arm. So that's another thing that happened with the Nexplanon. It's not that big of a deal, but still. I decided to go back to my previous birth control, which was the patch, and if you would like, I can make a video telling you my experience with the patch and the good and bad things about it. So please leave me a comment in the comment section below. Now, the things that I did like about the Nexplanon is that, one, it was nice to not have to worry about changing my patch every week and worrying about picking up my prescription every month and that type of thing. So that's something that's positive. I've heard a lot of women have heavy bleeding. For me personally, I didn't experience that. My periods actually got very, very light. I never stopped having them in the 6-month period, but they were very light and very convenient. Again, just because I experienced this doesn't mean that you are going to experience this, because everybody's different, but I do advise you to do as much research as you can and obtain as much information as you can about this before you make the change. I believe that you should make decisions with the most amount of information that you can so you can figure out what's best for you and your body. I think that's it for today. I really appreciate you watching. Please give this video a thumbs up and leave me your comments in the comment section below. I would love to hear from you, so you're welcome to find me on social media as Gabby Solar Powered. I'm on Twitter, Instagram, you can like my Facebook page, you can read my blog on medium.com and my contributor page on themighty.com. I would love to hear from you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and good luck on your research about birth control.